All right, it's another episode of Saturdays with Seniors right here on KC 101. It's all brought to you by Eisenhower's Tioga County Harley-Davidson. They're located south Mansfield, and that's the place to go if your bike needs any service work. They're looking to do your oil change your tires, inspect your bike, or, they can even install accessories on your bike, too. It's all available at Eisenhower's Tioga County Harley-Davidson, south of Mansfield. And today I've got Linda Buchko joining me this morning. How are you today, Linda?
I'm fine, thank you.
Great. So let me ask you, how old are you?
I'm 79.
79, and you grew up in the Wellsboro area?
Yeah, up around Top Road.
Excellent. So let's go back a little ways. Where were you born at? You were born in Wellsboro?
Born in Wellsboro.
Were you born at the hospital, or were
Yes.
you? Okay.
Born at the hospital.
And what did your parents do for a living?
Well, of course, my mother didn't work. She had much to do at the home. We lived on a farm.
Mm-hmm.
And so my dad worked also at the boarding company at the time.
Okay.
But we had the big farm to work on, and cows and chickens and pigs and the whole thing.
Oh, wow, yes. Did you have any siblings?
Yes, I had 5 siblings.
Okay.
I'm the oldest. I had 3 sisters and 2 brothers.
Tell me about some of the chores you had to do on the farm.
Well, when I got old enough, I had to go milk cows before I went to school because my dad had to be work early in the morning.
Oh, right.
So my brother and I had to take care of the cows, milk cows, feed the calves, feed the pigs.
Was it a big farm? Did you have a lot of animals, or?
No, not for that. We had beef cows. We had a few more, but we had enough to take care of.
So you didn't have to run to the store, every other day. You were able to live off of what you had, yeah.
Yeah, the milk. And we also raised calves. And we had horses to ride, too.
Ah, very nice. Let's talk about school. Where did you go to school at?
All right, I started first grade in Antrim, and it was an old 4-room schoolhouse. And it was divided up into, of course, the primary, intermediate, but the high school and junior high had transitioned to Wellsboro before I got there. So we had first, second, and third grade in one room, and fourth, fifth, and sixth in the other room. And I had Mrs. Harrison was my teacher. She was wonderful. And we didn't have hot running water in there. We just had cold running water and one sink in the school that we all used.
Oh, wow.
And then we had outhouses for the rest of us. We had outdoor bathrooms, one for the boys and one for the girls.
So how did you get to school? Was there a bus?
Yes.
Okay.
When the bus took the high school and junior high kids to Wellsboro in the morning, on the way back, they'd pick up the elementary to us and brought us up to the school up there. There wasn't many of us. There was just a few houses because most of the kids lived in town.
Right.
Walked to school.
Did you ever get in trouble in school? Do you have any stories about that? Or what happened if somebody did get into trouble?
We really didn't have that much of a problem. I know one boy didn't come to school every morning, so the teacher walked down to his house to see why he wasn't coming. and he beat her back to the school. I'll never forget that. He sat down and said he'd been there all the time. He didn't know why she couldn't find him.
Tell me what you used to do for fun.
Mostly ride horses.
Yeah.
And, the neighborhoods, we might go fishing for a while or, just outdoor things, basically. That was our fun thing.
Yeah, and that's completely changed from today's world because a lot of times you don't see kids outside playing. They're usually inside on their, their phone or they're playing video games or something like that. You know what I mean?
We didn't have any of that.
Absolutely not. Winter up where you live, did you go sled riding, ice skating, or?
We did the sled riding mostly. Yeah, we didn't go ice skating. One of the neighbors had a pond, but we didn't have any place to, really do that, or skiing. We never went skiing or anything like that. Mostly sledding and making snowmen and playing in the snow.
Yep. I mean, that's another thing that people don't do anymore much. It snows outside and they just like, oh, I can't go outside. It's snowing. Tell me about the farmhouse. So did it have electricity?
Yeah, when I was about 5 years old, they put electricity in the house. And then we got indoor plumbing when I was about 10 years old.
Yeah, that seems about the standard there. A lot of people don't know what it's like without electricity or plumbing, you know what I mean? Let's move a little bit forward. What did you do for work when you got older? What was your first job? Do you remember?
Well, my first job was at the Edgewood Dairy when it was here in town. I was a waitress and short order cook there.
Now, where was that?
Up where Subway is now.
Okay.
It used to be the Edgewood Dairy.
Okay.
They fixed like breakfast and sandwiches, and we didn't have meals in there. And then, of course, they were known for their ice cream, and milkshakes, and all that kind of soft ice cream.
Do you remember how much you made?
40 cents an hour.
40 cents an hour.
Well, minimum wage was 80 cents.
Yeah, well, I mean, you weren't doing too bad then. Again, it blows my mind to hear some of these stories, making 40 cents an hour. But then again...
Yeah, loaf of bread was 20 cents.
Exactly, right. Do you remember any of your other jobs that you did?
I started college, and then I would work weekends there. And then at the college, I worked for the Dean of Admissions office and worked in there.
Okay. Well, let's talk about your college. Where did you go to school? Did you go to Mansfield?
Mansfield.
Okay. Did you go to college right after high school?
Yes.
What did you go to college for?
Well, Mansfield at that time only had teachers.
Okay.
They were teachers that come out of that school. So I did the elementary, preschool type students, That was it. And I didn't do high school. The high school teachers had to do either be a history major or a science major.
Right.
But see, I just did primary grades.
Okay.
When I graduated from there, then my first job was in Elmira, New York, teaching first grade.
Okay.
I worked there 1 year, then I went to Corning and taught there 2 years in the primary grades. And then one of the ladies I worked with there, the kindergarten teacher, she says, let's try to go over, get a job with the military and teach military children. So we both applied, and I got accepted to go to Germany.
Oh, wow.
And I taught American children on the base in Germany, in Hamburg, Germany.
Oh, wow. That's really cool.
And that's where I met my husband.
Well, let's talk about that. How long were you married?
We're still married.
How long are you married?
50. It'll be 54 years next week.
Oh, wow. Well, congratulations.
Well, thank you.
And you met him in Germany.
Yes.
I'm assuming he was in the service.
Yes.
What branch of the service was he in?
Army.
How long was he in the service for?
He was in there for, 2.5 years. So I stayed there 1 year. Then we come back here to the States and got married.
What year did you get married?
1970.
1970. Wow. Very nice. So Wellsboro has changed quite a bit.
Oh, yes.
So do you remember any of the businesses that are no longer in Wellsboro anymore? Because like I said, there's been so many places that have changed in Wellsboro.
Well, two places we used to shop a lot were the 5 and 10s that used to be in town, if I can remember the names of them.
One of them's Paxton's and the other one may have been Mosier? Newberry? Could have been Newberry.
Could be. I can't remember. Those were two. And there used to be a shoe store that we went to in town that's gone. I'm sure there's other ones, but I can't think.
All right, for sure. You said you lived on the Round Top Road. Did you have a vehicle to get to town with when you were a kid? Did you have a specific day to come to town to get groceries or whatnot?
Oh, yeah. We went every Thursday to town. I didn't have a vehicle. My mother would go get when we'd ride all together, we could go get the groceries. And even when I was working, I had to drive my mother's car to work because after I graduated from college, that's when I finally got my first car.
There you go. Do you remember what your first car was?
Yeah, it was a two-tone blue 1955 Ford Galaxy 500.
Oh, wow. Do you remember how much you paid for it?
Yep, $450. It was used.
$450.
Yep. I drove it for 2 years, and then I traded it in for a Mercury Cougar.
Oh, wow.
That's what I was teaching, and they gave me $600 when I turned it in.
Oh, wow. So you did pretty good on that.
Yeah, I did.
But that blows my mind, too, paying $450 for a car, because nowadays...
Well, it was used.
Well, yeah, but even a used car now, you're really not going to find anything for $450 unless you're putting it in the demolition derby or something, So during your high school days, what did you do for fun then? Did you hang out with your friends? Did you hang out on the farm or
hang out on the farm?
Just doing your chores? Yep.
Rode the bus to school and rode it back home.
Right. When you were growing up, do you remember the first time you saw TV?
Yes, it was at my grandmother's house down here on Grant Street. My Aunt Agnes and my grandmother, they got the TV. That's the first one I remember seeing. And it was black and white. They didn't have color first.
Right. Do you remember some of the programming that you watched on TV?
No. I didn't see it that much.
I was going to say you probably didn't see it much. But so to get your news, did you get it from the newspaper? Did you get it from the radio when you were?
Radio.
Yeah.
We listened to the radio a lot, yes.
Do you remember some of the things that you listened to on the radio?
Music and news, weather and ball games.
Yeah.
Had to listen to the Yankees.
Of course. Yeah.
When we got older, we did get a TV in the house. And of course, that's when you had the antenna on your house.
Oh, yeah.
The wind would blow it around. You had to run outside. I don't care if it's 2 below.
Yep.
Back so you pick up signal again.
Yep. So, and that was the beauty of having kids. Your parents could just send one of you out to turn the antenna, But, a lot of people don't realize that either because, you're used to having 300 channels to watch now. But, back then it was only 1 or 2 stations.
Yeah, we used to get Elmira and Binghamton, I think were the 2 stations we got. As long as I can think of.
Do you remember any of the programs that you used to watch?
We used to watch Rin Tin Tin.
Rin Tin Tin, yep.
And Lassie, that was another favorite one. And Lone Ranger, maybe. I don't know. There was a few things for kids. And then Dad used to watch boxing, I remember that.
Oh, right. That was a big thing back then.
Westerns on the TV.
Wrestling and boxing. I don't know. There's a lot of people that we've talked to that said we'd always watch the fights on whatever night it was on, Saturday night or something like that. You know what I mean? Telephones. We got to talk about telephones because before we started recording, you were telling telling me about the party line, and let's go into a little bit more detail on that because there's a lot of people out there that don't know what a party line was. You were telling me that there were 18 people on your line.
I think it was around 15 or 18. It was a lot, and everyone had their own ring. Like I remember ours was 3 short, a long, and a short. We knew that was ours.
Right.
So you had to listen to see everybody had a different one. So you had to wait and see if it was your ring or not. Then you had the phone where you clicked the button over if it was yours so you could talk. And if it's somebody, you could pick it up, and if somebody's on here, you just hung up until they got through.
Right. Did anybody in your family ever listen into other people's conversations?
Oh, they may have. At time, but I don't know. Kids never did. We weren't allowed to use the phone unless we...
Right. But you were telling me, right up till the 70s, the Round Top Road still had...
My husband and I were living in a house off of Round Top Road, and we still had a party line, but there was only 4 families on that one, so it wasn't as bad.
That boggles my mind, too, just thinking in the 70s that there were still party lines out there. But so after you got married, after you met your husband, you came back from Germany, you got married, did you settle in Wellsboro for a while?
Not at first. We went back to where he's from, which was Gastonia, North Carolina.
Okay.
And I got a job down there teaching first grade. And then he worked in textiles. After we were there a couple of years, our first child was born in Gastonia. And the textile business went bad. And so we packed up and moved up here. And he got a job at Borden's then.
Ah, okay. And you stayed here for?
About 4 or 5 years. And then in the meantime, he had gone to Mergenthaler. Well, then they closed their business and moved it to the UK. So then we moved back to
Yes. Yep. Okay. So what do you do now?
We're both retired.
You're both retired. So how's retirement going?
It's going great. I'm busy all the time.
Yep.
We do a lot with our church and with family and that type of thing, and do hobbies and watch TV too.
Yeah, well, there you go. You brought up church. When you were a kid, did you go to church every Sunday?
No. When I got a little older, like 10, 12, we used to go to the Methodist church that was on Round Top Road. It's been torn down. And they had a little youth group there, too. We used to go to people's houses, though, for that.
Oh, right. Let's talk about, your clothes back when you were growing up. Now, today, people have closets full of clothes, but it wasn't like that back then.
No. You wore the same dress all week. You had to wear a dress to school, girls did.
Oh, wow.
Even if it was 2 below, you had to wear a dress.
Oh.
And you could put slacks on, keep warm until you got to school, but then you had to hang the slacks up in the locker room.
Oh, wow.
Or in the clothes closet or wherever they wanted to call it, clothes room. But you had to wear dresses, girls did.
And you said you had the same dress each...
Sometimes I wear it all week.
Right.
Because my mother made all our clothes.
Ah, I gotcha, yes. And that's the thing, nowadays you rip something, you go out and buy a new t-shirt or a pair of pants. But back then, that wasn't... You patched them up. Yep. And then, if you could, you could hand them down to your siblings, So that's not really the case anymore.
No.
So.
Well, I said, if you got your dress dirty, you wear one because you had another one. But
right.
The idea, as long as you kept it clean, you wore it every day.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
One thing I think would be interesting to know, the Round Top Road, the coal train used to go right in our backyard.
Oh, yeah.
Up to the coal mines every morning and just coast down at night. And I know my mother couldn't hang out the clothes until the train went up, which was around 10 o'clock because it
would be dusty.
Cinders.
Yeah.
So we had to wait till the train. Then you had to wash the clotheslines off.
Right.
It was all over it.
Wow. Now, did the train go through every day or?
Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday?
Yeah, pretty much every day.
Do you remember when the train went out?
Yeah, I was in, I think about second grade. First or second grade, they'd come down and I guess it built out and they went to strip mining up there. And they'd come around and took the rails out.
Ah, yes. I was wondering.
It went right through our backyard.
Wow, that's really cool. So that's definitely a neat memory. I wish a train would come through my backyard.
No, you wouldn't. It's loud. And
so
during the day, it wouldn't be bad.
Right. So I say that because I've never experienced it. But yes, you're right. They are loud. If it was the middle of the night, I would not want one. No. But just to see it, just to go through it. Yeah.
Morning, come down in the evening.
Do you have any kids? There we go. There's another question.
Yeah, I've got 3.
You have 3?
Yes.
How old are they?
Well, my daughter is 52, and she lives in South Carolina. And then I have a son that's 47, and he's a Class A lineman for electric company co-op in South Carolina.
Oh, wow.
And then I have a son in Alabama who is an electrical engineer and works for a company out there.
All right, very nice. Any grandkids?
Yeah, I have my son in Alabama's got 2 boys, and then my son in South Carolina has a daughter and 2 sons. And my daughter never married. She's
Oh, I got you.
Children.
Yep. Well, there you go. So I think we're going to wrap it up. I always ask this one question. If you could choose to grow up now or grow up when you did, which would you choose?
When I did.
Yeah.
I learned how to take care of myself. You know how to be more frugal with your money.
Yep.
You get it, and you only get what you need, not what you want.
Right. It was just a different time back then. You know, people helped each other out.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know, we've seen a shift in that somewhere,
Oh, yes.
you know. But most of the people that we've interviewed have said the same thing. They would grow.
Yeah. And we like to have, family gatherings, and then we have cookouts and stuff with the neighbors. It was more of a gathering of people and enjoying and having a good time together, once every so often, especially like at the end of harvest season. We'd have a cookout at our house, and the neighbors would be there and bring a dish to pass and eat.
Yeah, that's another thing that's kind of went by the wayside, too. There's not a lot of, gatherings anymore.
Yeah.
I know in my experience, we used to have a family reunion every year. And, at the beginning, there was a ton of people that came, and then it just kind of dwindled down to, there was only 4 or 5 people that would come to the reunion. It's sad to see, but...
people get scattered,
Well, that's true, yes.
I mean, like our family is scattered, like we got some here in Wellsboro. I got my sister in Louisiana, and we live in North Carolina. And they've moved, then your kids move. And
oh, yes.
they're all over this.
Yep.
All over.
Hard to get all those people in the same place. Yep,
Yes.
I get that.
Well, a lot of it's because of jobs. They go where they get jobs.
Right.
That's what the case of mine.
Right. Yep, absolutely. And times were, they're a little simpler back then. We didn't have all the technology that we have now, which, technology is great in some aspects. Like you can keep in contact with your kids or your family, but it's also distracting.
Oh, yes.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Linda, for taking some time out of your day and sitting down with me to talk about how your life was, and safe travels back.
Oh, thank you so much.
Absolutely. You've been listening to Saturdays with the Seniors. It's all been brought to you by Eisenhower's Tioga County Harley Davidson, and that is the place to go for all of your gift ideas. If you have that Harley lover in your life, they got all sorts of gift ideas at Eisenhower's Tioga County Harley Davidson. And if you missed this episode or any of the previous episodes of Saturdays with Seniors, you can go to our YouTube channel, which can be accessed by our website, kc101fm.com. There's a link to our YouTube channel, and it'll take you to all of the previous episodes